Hello and good afternoon, class. How are you doing today? Hope that you are fine and staying healthy in your ways. Today, we're going to continue our studies on Unit 8, Section 2, page 73 to 75. Last week, we talked about natural things, which means things that occur naturally within our world, and natural things that we see on our way to school. You remember that from our last week's lessons. And some of you have named like trees, soil, the sky. All those are natural things. But for today's lesson, we will talk about man-made things. What are man-made things? Are they important? Why do we create man-made things? What is the purpose of it? Can you post something up on our Telegram post explaining why man-made things are important and why do we make that? Please post something up, let your classmate know that you know what man-made things are. About 4 months ago, we also studied about man-made things, and I remembered most of you have written a very good article and very good paragraph about man-made things. If you still have some of your earlier exercise, you can bring them up and use it for your reference today. Use it to help you for your guide. Okay, I listed here a few questions for you about man-made things. My first question is, what are man-made things? Can you post some man-made things up on our Telegram post? If you say, like this building we're in now, or this house is a man-made thing, you are correct. But let me ask you this. What is the purpose of this building? What is the purpose of this house? Please post something up on a Telegram post explaining the purpose of this house. If, for example, if you say it is for our safety, it's for our protections, and it's for our family to live in, you are all correct. The purpose of a house is for our safety, our protection from the weather or any other natural disaster that might occur. So there are many benefits of having man-made things. For example, like this paper. Is this paper a man-made thing? If you say yes, you are correct, because papers are made from natural resources like a tree, and it goes through a certain process and it becomes a paper. What is the purpose for the paper? I may ask you. Please list something up on our Telegram post and we will have some further discussion about it. And also, I will be connecting you guys or linking you to Zoom. We can also have a further discussions about man-made things, the purpose of man-made things, and the purpose of this paper. Okay, for now, I want you to bring out your book and turn to page 73. I have mine marked. On page 73, it has some pictures on the page and the title, Man-Made Things. Before I go on to your reading, let me just go to the pictures and see some of the man-made things that have shown to you on the pictures. As you can see on the first image, high buildings, picture of high building, high houses. Those high buildings are man-made things. And the next picture you can see might not be clear, but I will post some clearer picture up for you so you can see. It's a port. What is a port? P-O-R-T. What is a port? Okay, if you say a port is someplace where big ships come and park so they can bring out cargoes and supplies, you are correct. A port is somewhere near the ocean or near a river so big ships or boats can come and park there. That is a port. And the bottom picture of there is a fishing boat. A fishing boat is also a man-made thing. But what things are made from fishing boats? Can they be metal? Can they be wood? Can it be plastic? You can also post this up on a Telegram post stating what are some boats made from. And your last picture here, as you can see very clear, is a dam. What is a dam? As you can see, a dam is used for storing water or to block water off so water will have not run off. I will load up some picture of dams for you so you can have a better viewing of a dam. Okay, for our reading on the first page, on page 73, on top of it, I have that first sentence right here written for you. Can you read it with me? Man-made things are things which man altered, changed, built from natural things. So that sentence is on your first sentence on page 73. Man-made things are things which man altered, changed, or built from natural things. Okay, now let's break this sentence down. We know man-made things are things that man make. So these things man can alter, change. What does the word altered means? A-L-T-E-R-E-D. What does the word altered mean? Can you post something up on Telegram, or you can link with me in Zoom and explain to me what altered means? Altered, changed, built from natural things. So man-made things are things that man altered. The word altered means to change, to manipulate. If you say altered and change mean the same thing, you are correct. Just for example, my paper. Papers come from a natural resources, which is a tree, right? So we take this tree, we alter it, we change it through different machines and different process and turn it into a paper. So man altered a tree to make papers. The word altered and changed means the same thing, but it's spelled differently. Just say, for example, I altered a cotton swab to make a shirt. So that means I take cotton, I change that cotton to make my shirt. Altered means to change. Okay, we can discuss this further in Zoom or in our Telegram post for further discussion. I have listed some pictures here that I posted up, but I will explain more of these pictures on our next video, because our next video will entail these pictures. Okay, for now, I would like to introduce to you our first task. There are 3 questions I have for you here. But the first task is an exercise that I will post up on your Telegram post to do. It's an excerpt. I will get out the excerpt. It's an example of an excerpt. But I will post this up on your Telegram post so it'll be part of your exercise. Then after doing your first task or your first questions, I want you to answer the second and the third question in your notebook. For the second questions, I want you to name 5 man-made things you use regularly at your home. So what are 5 man-made things you use at your home? Name 5 of it. And for the last sentence, all man-made materials are from what kind of resources? Every man-made material are what kind of resources? As we understand, the paper is from a tree. A boat, wood, is also from a tree, or if a metal boat, it comes from steel, which we can also pick from one of these natural resources here. So I will give you 30 minutes to complete this first task. Remember, the first task I will drop on our Telegram post, but on the second and third questions, you can write in your notebook. When you are finished, I will upload the second video. For now, goodbye class. Hello class, welcome back to our second video for today's lessons. And our second video is on page 74 of your book. Can you please turn your book to page 74? Thank you. On page 74, the title of the top is Relationship Between Nature, Man, and Man-Made Things. So what does that sentence mean? Or what does that phrase mean? Relationships between nature, man, and man-made things. Can someone explain to me what this sentence means? You can post it up on our Telegram post, or we can go back to Zoom and discuss this more. Also, I would like to thank you for joining Zoom during our first videos. You have commented and made a lot of insights for me about what you know about man-made things. Okay, relationship, these are 2 meanings for that. As relationship as a husband and a wife or a family, we have a relationship. But in these words, relationship means things that are connected, things that are bound together. Just like my example in the first video, the paper. The paper has a relationship from the tree because it is made from a tree. So the tree and the paper is bind together as one. That's their relationship. A paper is from a tree. So my question to you is, relationship between nature, man, and man-made things, do they all have a relationship together? If you say yes, you are correct, because between nature, man, and man-made things, we all have an interrelationship, because man-made things are built to protect us, man, and to make things more convenient, meaning make things more easier for us. So we all have a relationship together. Like our example on the paper. The paper comes from nature, which turned into a resource which we use. So it all have a relationship. So there's a purpose for this paper. There is a purpose for this house. For example, we make the walls of the house by brick. And brick comes from rocks that we found from our natural things, which man have formed into a brick to build this house. So the relationship between the brick, the house, and us are all one, are all connected. As we see here on the examples on page 74, the relationship between man-made things, man and nature. See that example here, nature plus man equals man-made things. Example, tree plus man, because the manpower being used becomes papers. Also, I will post this up on our Telegram post. You see here an example. Material plus tools plus the skills that man have equals the man-made things. Like this picture they have here. A picture of a sheep, a bunch of sheep. You know what a sheep is? If you don't, I will download a picture of some sheep on our Telegram post. Picture of a sheep, then some tools. Tools means like sewing machines. You got here scissors and stuff like that. Plus skills. The skills are the individual who have the knowledge of making things become the shirt. So the sheep, the tools, the man skills become your shirt. These are examples of natural resources plus man-made stuff will turn into your shirt. That's how products are built, homes are built, and everything that man make are built. Everything that man make comes from natural resources, which I have here. The water and the oil, the trees, the rock, the minerals. Minerals is like gold, ceramic, cans, aluminum. These are mineral. Soils and animals. They are all natural resources. But from all these natural resources, we can turn them into man-made things. This is all here on our example on page 74 and 75. I will give you one more example on our second box here. This is the natural thing, man, that's us, which we make, and what the things that we produce. On here they have land, water sources, sunshine, and plant. So what can we make from land, water resources, sunshine, and plant? As you see the outcome here, they say rice farming, fruits farming, vegetable farming are all called planting. So from the land we use, from the sun, the natural resources, and from plant, we can take that as man migrated and make a farm. As we can see, some have rice farms, watermelon farms, and corn farms. Yes, of course they grow naturally, but man have taken that specific plants like the rice and cultivated, meaning growing in huge amounts in fields, and make rice farms. So rice farms are man-made things. Even though we use natural resources like the rice, but we have cultivated and farmed it, mass produce it, meaning making a whole bunch to make it a man-made things. Okay, now for our second task. I want you to, on your list of 5 things you wrote on your first task. Remember you wrote 5 man-made things on your first task? So from that list, I want you to draw a chart representing how your item was made, like our earlier example. Again, if you have any further questions, you can ask me and I will explain it to you. So you will have 40 minutes to make your charts on your 5 items that you selected on your first video. Once you complete this chart, be a little patient and I will drop the last video. Goodbye, class. Hello class, welcome to the third and final video for today's lessons. This video, as you can tell, we always have homework. But before I go on to your homework, I would like to do a little review with you. Today we studied about man-made things and why man-made things are important to us. And we also learned what is the purpose of man-made things. As you can tell, every man-made things have a purpose for every individual. Some we used to build for a house, some things we used to build a car, some things we built like for our convenience, meaning make things or make life better for us. And for some, it's benefits for everyone, like this paper. As we can tell, all man-made things comes from a natural resources, which man altered and changed. For example, a tree. We have manipulated a tree, altered it, and changed it. Somehow, from that tree becomes a paper. So, man have taken many natural resources and made things to better our life. For example, like this house. There are many purposes for this house. And I hope you understand it, and I hope you find this lesson interesting about man-made things. So now let's go on to our homework. Your homework is on page 76. Can you please take out your book and turn to page 76? On page 76, there are a list of 5 questions. But these questions will also involve our last week's lessons, which means you have to review last week's lesson about natural resources to also do this homework. Okay, you can go back and review some of your last week's lessons, your homework, and your exercises, and it will help you guide through your homework. Also, you can go back and read last week's lesson, and it also guides you to your homework. Again, your homework is due before we start next week's lesson. So please, do your homework and submit it to me, and I will give you your score back. If you have any questions about today's lesson or last week's lesson, just ask me, and I will gladly guide you through your understanding or through our exercises. Okay, class? Until we meet again next week, goodbye